Welcome to our new series, The 200 Movie Challenge. Our goal this year is to watch 200 movies that we haven't seen yet. If you want to listen to the full podcast where this clip is from, the link will be in the description. Now enjoy today's movie. My second movie I watched is actually your first movie, and that's kind of
Yeah.
why I wanted to get on this, because when we started this project, I think early on I saw this kind of came out, and I knew I wanted to see. Like, this was one, like, I was just curious. I was worried how good it would be, how shit it would be, but I was like, I kind of want to see this because I loved the original. Or excuse me,
hmm
I guess I can't call this a sequel, but anyhow, me and you both watched the movie Twisters, starring no one that I can remember, and no one that I even know.
Whiskers.
Whispers,
Apparently,
whispers.
the dude is a popular dude. I don't even know his name. But the guy, the male lead, apparently is in a bunch of other things. But
Oh, I'm sure
yeah,
they are.
Twisters.
I just, if by not knowing a lot of today's actors and actresses, and I'm looking at this, his name is Glenn Powell. I don't know what else.
Wow, I
Oh,
already forgot his name.
I had to pull this up. And actually, as
As
I
you
pulled
said his
this up,
name, I forgot.
I forgot just, and I, just said it. The only person I recognized was someone that came in later, and that was like the mom, Maura Tierney. I'm like, oh yeah, I remember her. That was
Oh
about it.
yeah, she
Yeah,
came out.
yeah. I
Yeah,
was
yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah.
that's anyhow. So Soto, but yes, you saw Twisters when you told me about this. I'm like, I
Sure
had to
did.
see this because this is only the third movie that we both watched the same time for a review. We saw
hmm
Terrifier 2, which we have to continue that. Then The Menu,
We
kind of
sure
similar
did.
to this, because when you said you saw The Menu, I'm like, I have to see it. It was on my, it was on my list. So yes, I saw
Mhm.
this. But Soto, I'm going to start with you, or why did you choose Twisters? And let's get your initial thoughts of the movie.
I chose Twisters because it was free.
We like that.
And I love that. It didn't have a long run time. I'm so boring when I choose my movies. I'm like, I wanted to watch something that was just gonna be just easy to watch, which I figured this movie was. Uh, I don't really have an attachment to the original Twister. I do. I've always been into storm chasing when I was a little kid. Loved tornadoes. Loved that whole thing. Um, so I remember watching the first Twister in the theaters and enjoying it at the time. It made tornadoes seem pretty scary, and thankfully, I don't live anywhere near tornadoes, so that's kind of cool. But I just wanted a movie that again, I saw it on the Amazon Prime top 10, and I said, all right, fuck it, I'm gonna give this one a chance. And you asked me what my initial feelings were watching this movie. Is that what you just asked?
I
Yeah,
guess, just what are your thoughts?
it's this is a perfectly fine Friday night popcorn movie. You put it on, you're with your significant other, and you put some popcorn on, and it doesn't ask a lot of you. The
Nope.
plot is very easy to
Hold on,
follow.
Soto. Hold on, hold on,
Uh,
hold on, hold on. I gotta explain this because I have this in my notes just for the fun of it. You said plot. Here is my quick plot synopsis for Twisters.
sure, hit me.
Tornadoes
Yeah.
hates Oklahoma. That's it.
Yes.
That's it.
Yes.
Anyhow, go on.
Yes. Oh, I mean, they had the tie back into the first Twister movie, right, with the Dorothy like thing. Um,
Yes.
like the little Dorothy like kind of thing that they set up in there. So that was like the tie. I didn't know if this was a sequel or not to the original. I think pretty quickly I came in and I just had a vibe that it was more kind of a spiritual successor
Correct.
to the original movie because there wasn't really a lot of callbacks except for that Dorothy thing that went back to it. But it was a story of a young female tornado chaser, and she obviously the beginning starts off in a sort of unexpectedly, I'll just say it, but it starts off with an unexpectedly tragic way, and then the story really starts like as screenplay goes, and there's some callbacks to like YouTube or Twitch or not Twitch, TikTok kind of culture with these kind of storm chaser things, which is
Yeah.
kind of true because there was just recently a storm chaser group that just died, and their deaths were on TikTok because their truck went up into the funnel cloud and everything. You could see their lights, and they actually died. So this shit's real, but it's had a plot. She was really into tornadoes. Then this thing happened, and then she was scared of going out in the field. But then she met somebody that like opened her back up to the idea of being who she was again, and
Well, that, but
so
also her friend came back because his whole thing was he wanted to kind of help the city. Like, if we do this, we can
yes,
help so this doesn't happen again. We can get rid of these tornadoes. And that was her initial drawback. Yeah, because she moved all the way to fucking New York City. She was being called the city
I almost
girl
did a
now.
spit take.
Um, at first, when I heard about this, I thought, because I heard rumors for a long time that they were going to do a sequel to Twister. I know a long time ago Bill Paxton was pushing for it. So when I heard about this, I thought maybe there's the possibility the small linkage is like this is the daughter of Bill Paxton and Helen Hunt, which FYI no.
Oh,
You're
sure.
right. Because I was wondering if they're going to tie it into the first Twister. There is a couple small, like callbacks to it, like the Dorothy machine, the mom that does
Yeah,
Barbie, the family. So there's just
yeah,
very few things. But
yeah.
you're right. I don't consider this a true sequel. Like I
No,
said, it is a successor, which pays homage to the original one. But I'm like, this has nothing to do with the original one. There's no characters outside of tornadoes. Um, but
yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
it was fun enjoyment, but it was definitely a
Yeah.
lot of cheese
I
for as
mean, it
much as fun.
was, but these we talk about it all the time. If this is on the new release wall, we've got like 300 copies of it
Oh, it's
on the
renting.
new
People
release
are renting
wall.
the shit out of this.
People
Do
are
not get me
renting this
wrong.
on a Friday, Saturday night. Like you put it on, it doesn't ask a lot of you. Um, and again, you could just watch this with your significant other or your family, and nothing sticks out. This is definitely a family movie that I could think of. I mean, there might be some violence with tornadoes and stuff, but it's a Friday night popcorn movie that you open up and digest. And I mean, I'll never have any reason to watch this movie again, uh, unless you feel like a different reason. I mean, it's just kind of like you pop open a can, it's got an instant movie, you watch instant movie, the end. I don't know. That's kind of how I felt about it.
No, and correct. And even looking at my notes, I just a few of the funny things. You talk about the YouTube guy. The bad boy of tornado chasing, and I'm
Oh
not
my
gonna.
god!
But so do before we get to our grades or our ranking system, I did have to write down a quote that I heard, and I know you heard in this movie. Whether or not you remember it, I don't know. And it is when the main character is trying to get her, the main guy is trying to get her back into this whole tornado thing, and to get back out there, and he takes her to like a rodeo, and he's like, tornadoes, bulls, you don't face your fears, you
Oh
ride
my
them.
god!
You ride them, so
Yeah,
you don't ride a fucking tornado. No, I know he clamps on it. You get the fuck out. So yes, I laughed so hard at how bad that line was. Like I get it what he
yeah.
was trying to say, but it's just like tornadoes, bulls, you ride them. I'm like, what the fuck? No, you do not
I
ride
did like
tornadoes.
what I did like what she said in that sequence, that it was not her first rodeo, being at a rodeo, which I thought was kind of funny. But
Yeah.
yeah, no, this movie is. I'm not mad at Twisters. I don't like, because I watch plenty of movies and I'm just like, oh man, like I feel like a visceral anger towards, like, after they're done.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not mad at Twisters.
No, no.
Twisters does everything that it's supposed to do. Like, and it's, if you're looking for a movie that you can not have to, not every movie has to be this fucking breakdown of spiritual experience. Sometimes you just want to watch a movie that's just gonna, like I always say, that's just gonna movie, and just do its thing and all that. I mean, and again, it was not long, so it didn't demand a lot of my time, which I love. Um, and if you have a thing where you like, watching tornadoes in a movie, and you think this Glenn Powell guy's kind of dreamy, then go ahead, knock yourself out. I think Twisters is a perfectly fine way to spend a Friday or Saturday night.
So the question is, Soto, where do you rank this on your list?
Yeah, where do I rank this on my list? As I look at my list, I'm gonna rank it just below Beekeeper and above Kung Fu Killer. So this will be, what is that, 21? That
Oh, hold
spot?
on. Let me pull up your list. I was on mine. Hold on.
It looks like 21 on mine,
Yeah,
as
21.
I'm looking.
Let me. Yeah, no,
Yeah,
that
I'm
that
gonna
is
mark
it.
it there. I mean, it did its movie thing. I enjoyed Beekeeper more, because it was fun and it made me laugh. But Twisters is, I think it's perfectly fine as my 21. I think that's a perfectly fine place for it.
So Soto, for me, and I know I have a few more movies than you do, but I have it low. I guess lower on my list as well. I have it at number 25. It's underneath Tag and above the Ninja Turtles. That's kind of where it's at for me. But for me, it's at the number one because again, you're right. I mean, you pop this in, you're gonna get some cheesy enjoyment out of it. It's nothing I'm ever gonna go back to. I don't think it's anything we're gonna talk about in a year or so. Just I don't know. There's any, yeah, there's no member. It's not like the first Twister. I will always remember out of the first Twister, the cow scene, just the cows in the tornado. And again, this is 96 Twister or 97 is cheesy as well. And then like a woman's like, oh, cow in the tornado. And second, 5, 10 seconds go by. And then another cow comes back. She's like, oh, another cow. And Bill Paxton's like, nope, same cow. I don't know. That Bill Paxton delivery, I just always remember he's like, nope, same cow. As he's just looking.
Bill Paxton being in that makes it a classic, like because
Correct.
he's in it.
Yes, he's a big
This
reason.
one, there's nobody in this movie that I'm really good to remember. I mean, if I see that dude Glenn Powell again in another movie, I'll probably be like, oh yeah, the guy from Twisters. But that's it. I thought the female lead was fine too. I don't know.
Yeah, no,
It
it
just
was
was
fine.
whatever.
It was fine. It was just again nothing memorable in this movie. So hold on, I am looking. Hold on. Let's see what. Well, Soto, real quick. I'm not gonna. He was in The Dark Knight Rises, but if we ever watched Top Gun Maverick, I guess he's in that as well. I'm just quickly looking at his list. Yeah.
I watched Top Gun Maverick, and I can't remember him being in it.
No, that's on my list to possibly watch. But yeah, he doesn't have a huge filmography, but that one caught me. There's something called Anyone But You, but you're right. I doubt I'm gonna. I mean, I know I saw The Dark Knight Rises, but I can't remember him. But anyhow, that's just something that quickly pops up. So yeah, Twisters. We saw it. Yeah, that's about it. We saw it.